With that out of the way, let's bring in Chris Ello from 97.3. Chris, kind enough to drive in from you. I believe you were just on the radio, were you not?
Yes.
Talking
and
about
our station is right next to the TV station. So
yes. So
you drove perfectly.
The day you volunteer to come in, and you have to drive.
I don't mind. I love hanging out with you.
Last I looked or heard, the Pods were up 3-0 in Colorado. I don't know. Can you update that?
You know, they seem to play well on the road against good teams, and then they come home and they just can't play at all, right? They lost 7 out of 10 on this last homestand. They're having one of the worst home seasons any team's ever had. So maybe next year they can put in for just like a 120-game road trip.
They're flirting with being 30 games below 500. I mean, they're 29 right now.
That's not a happy flirtation.
Yeah.
That's not where they wanted. You know, I came on the show at the beginning of the season, and I predicted a 500 year. So I drank the Kool-Aid in spring training, and it didn't work out.
I think you just do that because you want it to be that.
Yeah, you want the best, and I thought
that was instead of your head.
That was the best that I think this season could have been, and this is almost the worst this season could have been.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. Though there were highlights, like last weekend. I thought everything that the organization has done with Trevor Hoffman this year, as far as the Hall of Fame induction, has been golden. So you got to give him credit for that. Where did this weekend's fireworks and the unveiling? Where did that rank on the Kleenex meter?
You know, it ranked way up there because it was all off the cuff. It wasn't really planned. I don't think anybody scripted that.
And maybe Trevor
scripted that himself. After they won the game Saturday night, he went in and grabbed his uniform and got so excited he ran out to the mound, and it made for a great, memorable moment. And I still owe him because I got a trip to Cooperstown to go cover his Hall of Fame induction. So I thanked him personally for getting into the Hall of Fame so that I could go to the Hall of Fame. It was awesome.
Are two of the best statues any organization. I mean, they got Tony at his ultimate and Trevor too.
You know, San Diego hasn't had as many superstars as other cities, but our superstars are of superstar caliber, and that goes for both baseball and football.
Just a word to Allison. I've lost audio, so you guys are going to have to give me audio cues manually, please. Vegas has set the over-under for the Chargers this season at 9. Tell me where your money is.
Well, most people think I'm usually wrong, so they probably want me to bid over and hope I'm wrong. So I will bid over and go 10 and say they win the division because Kansas City has a rookie quarterback and the Chargers ought to be able to take advantage of that.
So you're taking, all right, so I'll bet accordingly.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, LT is coming to town. He's coming back to San Diego Monday to lend his name to a fundraiser that raises money for disabled veterans. Obviously a very worthy cause. But LT's place in the San Diego hierarchy, if you ask me, listening to your radio show, seems to have slipped a bit.
There's no question that it has, and I'm not 100% sure why, other than the fact that he agreed to work for the L.A. Chargers. But, I mean, he just wants to stay in football. I think LaDainian Tomlinson still loves San Diego. San Diego does not seem to love LaDainian Tomlinson that much anymore. I mean, if you did a Mount Rushmore of San Diego athletes, when he played here, he was on that for sure. Now people in San Diego are chiseling his face right off of that.
Who is obviously Tony, Trevor
Jr., probably Junior Seau,
Trevor, and Philip Rivers.
Philip Rivers, maybe, or you could go to like a Don Coryell, Dan Fouts, a lot of different people. But I think LT was an automatic over the years. But
Marshall Faulk.
Marshall Faulk's another one that should be up there, yeah. So we got to squeeze a couple of more in. Like I said, we don't have many, but our stars are Mount Rushmore worthy.
All right, the NFL. We had Rich Moran. Well, we'll get to that in a second. First of all, your take on the NFL Rules Committee's already tweaking the new helmet law. I call it the helmet law.
Yeah.
Right? Does that bode well for the future of the season? If 2 weeks out, they don't really know how they're going to officiate the game?
It doesn't sound like it does, but I don't think anything can really hurt the NFL. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you got all of the controversies with the kneeling before the anthem and now with the new rules. Look, people are still going to watch football. They love football. It's going to take a while for us to figure out these new rules, but we'll overcome it, and I think we'll get to it. And the NFL will figure out the right way to call this stuff. Look, they're doing this to protect their own behinds because of the whole of the CTE information out and the lawsuits. They're trying to tell everybody we're making it as safe as possible. Look, you can't make football completely safe. So just leave it alone.
We had Rich Moran, a 9-year veteran, played for the Green Bay Packers. He was sitting in that chair just an hour ago. We asked him the very same question. He had this to say.
I think they're looking at regulating what some people might consider excessive force, and in reality, the perimeter protecting receivers that are like NASCAR drivers and safeties that are like this. It's like they're trying to regulate a blindside hit in an alley by someone because it's the players don't care. The players will go full speed like they do in NASCAR, but they're trying to balance safety with collision.
So, Rich, you couldn't hear the audio, but he was basically saying the same thing you said, with the added caveat that he said the players will play by any rules, that if you lifted the restrictions, they would simply go out there and destroy one another.
Right. I think the restrictions are good. The plays you showed there during that highlight package, that's about as nasty as it could get. Those should be penalties.
Right.
The question is some of the new stuff, is that going to all be a penalty? And it may slow the game down a little bit. Like I said, the NFL's king, and this is not going to hurt it.
Monday Night Football has decided to do away with the anthem. I can't remember the anthem being part of Monday Night Football. Was it? Anyhow,
I think it was. I think in the last several years it became a big deal. Teams would get a celebrity to come sing the national anthem because it was Monday Night Football.
So by doing away with it, is that going to make the problem go away?
Of course not. No. I mean, it's just going to bring more attention to it. The NFL would be wise, I think, to stop commenting on this whole thing. The players that want to protest a little bit, let them protest. I think they have something to say. I think their message makes sense in a lot of different ways. But most of the players just stand there and the anthem goes, look, the NFL's made a bigger deal out of this than it needs to be, is my way of thinking.
Well, I think you can look at that on both sides of the aisle. Some politicians have too. But let's leave that be, because I think I want to get to this question. Urban Meyer, will he be the head coach of Ohio State 24 hours from now?
And yes, and if he wants to, he'll be hosting your show. Whatever he wants. He was 73-8 at Ohio State. That earns you a lot of cachet. Should he be the coach? Absolutely not. I would get rid of this guy in a second. But from what I'm hearing, they're going to announce tomorrow that his suspension is going to be time already served, and he's going to go right back to work. And that's how Ohio State's going to deal with this and hope that everybody accepts it. We're not going to, but that's what Ohio State's going to do.
All you need to know about college football
that's
in the year
all you need to know.
2018.
73-8.
Are we out of time here? Oh, all right, we got 30 seconds.
Good.
Tiger Woods is going to play 3 events in a row, try to qualify for the say he runs the table and wins the FedEx title, the $10 million pot. Will that count as winning a major?
No, because he'll still have 14 majors.
I mean, but still, that would be an achievement to come back and to win the FedEx title.
He's already come back a lot further than I and a lot of people thought he would. He's back. He just hasn't won a major again yet, but he's back. Make no mistake about it.
It just shows you how much the field has improved.
He's incredible. I mean, I never thought he'd come back to this level again. I really didn't.
Well, no, and you know what, Chris? Thank you for driving all this way. We are done for now. This is what we have cooking tonight on the All Sports Report. We'll be back 6 prep stops, and we'll bring you the very best in prep coverage in a little bit. Meanwhile, my phone is ringing, so I got to answer that. Back to you guys on the news desk.